3, 2, 1. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Ash on Comics. I'm Ash, and this is my second part of my previews that I do once a month. Yesterday, I did the Marvel previews, and today we are going to do DC previews. Now, if you watched my last video, hopefully you did, with the Marvel previews, you saw that Marvel, who does have control over what's put on these previews, put a nice, exciting Wolverine, cool picture, presumably the cover of issue number 1. It's badass. It's everything to get you excited. And DC decides to follow up with this. Look at this. Look at this. Oh my God. Now, if you look at this picture and you go, oh wow, that's a book for me, maybe my channel's not for you. I don't have anything against anyone, and everyone's free to have the taste they have and the things they like. But for my cup of tea, this just makes me cringe. It's for 10-year-olds, right? I could see my 10-year-old niece being like, oh, that's so cute. You know, look at the doggies playing with their little puffballs on her shoe, and then look, you can see the cop. Look at the cop. She has a bag of donuts because she's a cop. Get it? Oh, and then look, here's the huntress, and where's her arrows? Oh, there they are. Oh, it's so. And look at the beaver. Black Canary's holding the beaver, and it's got a hole in it. It's so lame. This is so lame. I see this, and I immediately don't want to buy any DC comics. I'm not excited at all for February. By the way, this is issue 20, December 29th. 29th. What the hell is that? 2019. Soliciting comics on sale for February. So this is what you have to look for in the second month next year. Here we go. Here's all of the people responsible for the destruction of DC. So as you can see, Dan Didio is right there at the top under Pam Lifford. I don't know who she is. I believe she's an AT&T person. I believe in my layman suspicions that the reason Dan Didio has so much power is because AT&T just doesn't really know what they're doing as far as DC Comics goes. They just acquired it. So in a smart move, like, right, you're not going to necessarily mess with a company that's been around 80 years doing its thing. You're not just going to be, we're a telecommunications company, we'll tell you how to do comics. Like, that would be stupid. Hopefully, though, they'll learn that the cats are, what is it? The mice will play, the cats are away. Man, I'm so bad at mixing my metaphor. Anyways, yeah, here's all those. Anyway, you don't care about that. What am I doing? Okay, so just like Wonder Woman, Flash is going to get a 750th issue, despite the fact that it's on issue 84, I think, right now. Like, this drives me bananas. They reboot the comics because they want the number ones, but they also want to have the landmark issues. They want their cake and they want to eat it too. Now, it's not how that works. You keep the numbering so that you can have the landmark issues. If you reboot it, you lose that. You get it? I gave you a pass with New 52 because you went back to the old numbering system before, trying to exploit landmark issues, and you've kept it, for Detective Comics and Action Comics at least. I almost would be considering forgiving Flash and Wonder Woman if at 750 they just went to 751, 752. Like, if they decide here's an opportunity to go back to them, it would be funky. I think it would be for the best, but it would be really weird. It would take a while to get past it. But I think but I might go, okay, but they're not. They're gonna, it's issue 750, and then it's gonna go back to like issue 92 or whatever. Like, it's just like, what? Yeah, it's, and they're gonna just keep doing that. And pretty soon, I'm gonna predict first Marvel will do this first, and then because DC always follows. Oh, Marvel's getting away with it, we can do it too. That's how DC seems to think. What's gonna happen is Marvel's gonna reboot again and again. And what's going to happen is Marvel's going to create multiple anniversaries, right? It's like, oh, it's the 700th issue of X-Men. And then a couple months later, oh, look, it's the 200th issue of the first time we rebooted X-Men. Oh, and then now it's issue number 25 of the Jonathan Hickman run. Sometimes I really hate my iPad. If the screen goes dim because it's trying to save battery, it stops the screen recording. And there's just no... Anyways, I've talked about this before. If you happen to catch that episode, you know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, then maybe you don't. But maybe you have an Apple product, so maybe you know what I'm talking about. Back to what we're doing. At least it cut off at a good point. I was ranting about the multiple reboots. And you can just see DC. I can just see both of these companies doing it. Trying to eventually realize someone will get every month can be an anniversary somewhere. We'll figure. It's like, oh, Jesus. But first, Marvel's got to get past their every issue is number one. God, wait till you see. I covered this, a little bit. Wait till you see in 2020 them pulling this scheme of like issue number one to be continued in issue number one to be continued in. So here's Flash 750. That's not really $7.50. It's going to be, it looks like it's going to be $8 for 80 pages. Prestige format, not terrible. You know, when Action Comics 1000 came out and it was like 96 pages for $100 and everything, I was like, not $100 for $7.99. I was like, yes. I praised DC up and down. I was like, good on you. 1000th issue. It's almost 100 pages. It's only $7.99, prestige format, beautiful book. Every reason. It's like, it was almost like DC saying, look, we're going to not charge a lot because this is a celebration. This is a give back to the fans. We don't want to extort you guys. You're the ones that made us get here. And I was really like, yes, you guys are doing everything right that Marvel's doing wrong. And then Detective Comics came out a couple months later. Same size book, everything, and it was $9.99. I was like, wait, what? Why is this $2 more? What's the same? There's everything about it's the same except that one says detective. Oh, it's because you realize you could charge more. Yep. Anyways, so Flash, cool. Batman Pennyworth, R.I.P. number one. That's a stupid title, number one. Written by James Tynion and Peter Tomasi. Very excited for that creative team. I'm not going to touch this book. I think it's tragic and stupid what DC did. I just, not tragic in like a good way. I understand you want to do like a death of a character, make this important story. They didn't. They flushed Alfred down the toilet. Unceremoniously just killed him, but whatever. Just not having an epic moment. Spoiler, I'm about to spoil Batman White Knight number 2, so fast forward 15 seconds or 20 seconds if you don't want to be spoiled. Alfred dies in the new book. So John Jordan Murphy covers that super well. Like, it has more impact in a little mini series that doesn't matter to the continuity than this Tom King bullshit. DC mainstream does not know what they're doing. And I blame leadership at the top because they have the talent. Even Tom King, who is, screwing up Batman. I mean, he's just writing trash. His Heroes in Crisis is one of the worst miniseries I've ever read in my entire life. It's so abysmally awful. He wrote, and I'm doing a Batman retrospective that I'm behind on, but he wrote good Batman. He has shown that he can write when he's edited. And the leadership at the top holds him to task. So, yes, I blame. You've got people like James Tynion IV, or Tynan, I believe is how you pronounce it. Peter Tomasi, Dan Jurgens, Scott Snyder. One of my favorites, Robert Venditti, writing the crap out of Hawkman. Holy crap. I know I'm not going to be thinking of every name that I should be right now. There's several. I mean, you got Grant Morrison. Love or hate him, it's Grant Morrison. The guy's a legend in the business as a writer. You got him, too. You've got what I call the equivalent to DC's version of Stan Lee and Jeff Johns. in a spirit, it's obviously not a one-for-one thing there. People are going to be, what are you talking about? I can explain that later. But Jeff Johns is a master. That guy should be absolutely in charge. That guy is the embodiment of DC heroes. He should be leading the way. There is no one more suited in today's time to be anyways, you've got all this talent. You can't use it. You're doing that. That's a sign of not the talent, but the coaching staff. Like if it's like it's not the players, it's the coaches. Anyways, oh look, we got Amethyst. There's the book that everyone wanted, written by Amy Reeder. Who the hell's Amy Reeder? So we're getting a 6-issue miniseries from Wonder Comics. Tease, and look, it's so cutesy. Look at this cover. It's it's a comic. I read this little interview, and it's a little blurb here. I thought it was fun. I also think it's really special that Amethyst and Gemworld exist within the DCU. We're talking female lead, fantasy, and an overabundance of purple. That is something I want to encourage and protect. Oh, God. Yep, there's a great... you sold me. I got to get this. Overabundance of purple. There's a chick that knows what she's doing. Can't wait for this book. God, it's going to be amazing, I'm sure. These people, they just don't have any ideas. It's just fanfic. Literally, they're hiring... I just found out today. I didn't know this. Did you know this? But Kelly Thompson, you know who Kelly Thompson? She's a writer for... She came out of like CBR. She came out of a fan site. And then so they literally are hiring fanfic writers. Oh, I didn't know this. But yeah, that's what happens when you hire Tumblr people and fanfic fan sites that are not fanfics. Anyways, you know what I'm talking about. You get fanfic writing. Just because you pay someone doesn't turn their writing from fan fiction into, great stuff. It's still the same quality it was when it was fanfic on the web. It's junk. Deceased Unkillables, of course. They're just going to milk this cow till it's dead. I heard good things about Deceased. What I'm hearing about this book doesn't excite me. It doesn't seem like it's inspired. It seems very much like, the old Hollywood trope of like, oh, that movie did amazing, do a sequel, but we don't have any ideas for a sequel. Oh, we'll figure something out. Okay. That's what this feels like. It's just going to be like, okay, find an excuse to do more dead. And it's the same thing Marvel's did with their zombies until it died. So I guess you got to sell books. DC Crimes of Passion. This cover is pretty controversial, even though it's been declared not to be continuity. But then I'm just like, why do I care? I just don't care about Catwoman, Batwoman, and I certainly don't care about a stupid love triangle with Dick Grayson. Is he Dick Grayson here? Is he Rick Grayson? He's got the Nightwing. No one knows. Nothing matters except that $10 price tag that they want to fleece you for. And why is this $10 for 80 pages, but Flash $7.50, $7.99 for 80 pages? No one will know. Green Lantern Season 2, Number 1. So I canceled my Green Lantern books as soon as I heard they were doing this. This is technically Green Lantern issue 14, but DC decides that they want to take advantage of their customers and do the predatory practices of Marvel. And so Grant Morrison apparently on board. I don't know. So they want to do his little Black Stars storyline. They said, instead of doing it in your Green Lantern book, we'll just give it its own series so we can have a number 1. And then when it's over, we'll reboot your Green Lantern and have another number 1. And so this is going to run for 12 issues, and then they're going to reboot Green Lantern again. Well, F you, DC. Screw you, Dan Didio. By the way, I've been using the hashtag lately, Didiot Comics. I believe DC now stands for Didiot Comics. And then here's the Harley Quinn thing from the cover. It just looks so terrible. Amanda Connor, Jimmy Palmiotti, the creative team that transformed Harley Quinn forever for the worse, returns to shake up her world once more. And this time, the gloves are off. Oh, brother. So it's Prestige Plus for $5.99, but it's going to be 32 pages, so it's going to be thin. It's not going to be thick books like Damned or Superman Year One or whatever. It's going to be big but thin little... You're going to pay $5 or $6, I'm sorry, bi-monthly for your stupid, silly Billy Harley Quinn, which is going to be mature, by the way. So you get this art and you look and go, oh, it's like for kids. It's so cutesy bootsy. But it's not. This is for grown. This is for grown adults. Let me make sure I'm still recording. I am. So, yeah. This article, they talk about how they're like, oh, we get to do like real cuss words. Down here, Amanda Connor. That and a few swear words. The challenge in the regular series was making up words and phrases that were not actually swear words. Sometimes, when we were on a roll, we made up words and phrases that sounded even worse than their original sweary counterparts. Yes, that's what creative people do in comics in history. And this is, if you follow my channel, you know this is a big pet peeve of mine when they do the forced cursing. So look, you're getting this book that looks like it's for little kids, and you're going to throw in the swear words because it's for baby brain people that just can't evolve their brains past 10 years old, but yet they hit puberty, and so they have a sexual understanding, and it's just weird, and you just get this nonsense. I don't know. If you love this shit, I'm probably insulting you, and I don't mean to. And oh look, Leviathan Dawn, written by Brian Michael Bendis, exploding out of the pages of the Event Leviathan miniseries. This all-new special blasts the DC Universe into a dangerous and brave new future. Yeah, you got to be brave to continue with this frickin' Dead on Arrival event. The Event Leviathan was a joke. Literally nothing happened. It was 6 issues of people sitting around talking about who they thought Leviathan was, only to be revealed on the last issue. No one even discovered the truth. The guy just takes off his mask and says, surprise, it's me. And everyone's like, who the hell are you? Because no one knew who he was. Like, readers don't even know who he is. Like, it's just, oh, it's some nobody guy. Great. That's it. The detectives, all the world's greatest detectives, the 2 teams of world's greatest detectives, no one figured it out. Superman just shows up, he takes his mask off, reveals Superman. Superman then comes back and tells everyone who it was. Oh, it was this guy. Oh, and he got away, by the way. That's right, because he took off his mask in front of Superman. Superman couldn't stop him. He leaves. See him. If you're not going to work with me, then you'll be my enemy. And then Superman comes back and tells everyone, oh, sorry, I couldn't stop him. But he's this guy. And you're just like, what? It's the biggest nothing burger I think I've ever read in comics. It is a joke. I mean, even on Bendis levels, it's a joke. They had this Leviathan Rises, like 6-issue lead-in to this series in Action Comics that was nothing. And now we're going to get this book, and it's a one-shot for $4.99. All of this should have just been in Action Comics. All of this should have just been in Action Comics. And the funny thing is during the Event Leviathan, when this wasn't happening in Action Comics. It was so weird. It was like a story going on in Action Comics. Then Event Leviathan comes out and the story goes over there. But meanwhile, in Action Comics, they go off and do something else. So it's a different story. Now Event Leviathan's over. We're going to have this one shot, and then it's going to go right back, and Action Comics is going to veer back. And you're just like, this doesn't... It's just stupid. Bendis needs to go. I don't understand why people pay money for his comics. DC continues the 100-page giants and their facsimiles because, as Dan Didiot, as I like to call him, mentioned at San Diego Comic-Con, they realize that fans are more interested in buying the old stuff than the new stuff. That's because you are in charge, you idiot. You make shit, and no one wants to buy it. And people want the old stuff when better people were in charge and comics mattered. And then we get this plunge over here. This seems interesting. I'm not a big horror comic guy. I just think it's hard to do horror in a comic. It's hard to have that. But I do like the genre of horror, and especially like Lovecraftian style horror. I'm not a big slasher film. I don't really like slasher type stuff. I also don't really like Stephen King kind of bizarro, weirdo horror stuff. But I do love Lovecraftian stuff. The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing, is my favorite horror movie of all time, just in case you cared. Joe Hill is popular name, right? He's big, and Stuart Immonen is a big name artist, and they're doing this Lovecraftian style horror book. So I'm kind of excited to know more about this. If you are a horror fan, and I know a couple people, in my circle, if you will, are horror fan stuff. I'm curious to hear from you guys what you think about this book. Like Wes from Thinking Critical, my fellow comic aficionados Lance and Real Comic Stacks, also my good buddy Chase from Gateway into Comics. He really likes the horror stuff too, I believe, and he's big into writing. I'm really curious if you guys are listening to this video at all. Get back with me and tell me what you think about this book. And Eric Breen too. Oh wait, Eric doesn't read comics; he only reads back issues. Never mind, Eric. You can go back to sleep now. I always got to shout him out. Powers, the best ever. The first original Powers graphic novel is here. For $30, you can get a Bendis. I can't imagine buying a Bendis book these days blind, not like it's like a classic, like, oh, I'm going to go back and get his Daredevil run and pay, going in blind. There's a new story. No one's read it. We paid $30. I mean, like going in, I feel bad for all the people that are buying his books now. People that bought Event Leviathan. I think those might have been $5 books each. Times that's $30. It just wasted. It was nothing. Superman, villains #1. I don't know what this is. Man of Steel's greatest villains react to the biggest news ever to rock the DC universe. This is probably going to be Superman reveals his secret identity. Yeah, of course it is. Here's the glasses. It's so stupid. This is so stupid. God, this is Year of the Villain, Hell Arisen, James Tynion. I might be getting these. I'm not sure. Year of the Villain, I've been supportive of, but it's gone on way too long and it feels really directionless. And I feel like there should have been a central storyline book going through to help people stay on course, right? That you can just know, okay, I got to get this issue #1. Okay, now in issue #2. They've done this event really weird. At first I was like, okay, great. So I can just buy my books and they have the Year of the Villain title at the top, and it tells me, I buy Hawkman, for instance, and it's the Year of the Villain. So it tells me the story that Hawkman went through during the Year of the Villain. But it's not a linear thing. It's not like you have to read this to understand what happens in Batman. It doesn't work that way. So I was like, that's great. It's not intrusive. It's not predatory. But then they started doing all these one-shots. It's like, oh, it infected this guy and blah, blah, blah. And you're like, I don't know which ones to get. I also don't know what the reading order is. So if I go back and get them now, it's like, there should just be an issue, like Year the Villain issue 1, issue 2, issue 3, they could have done it as a 12-issue maxi series, right? Every month there's a new issue of Year the Villain. And they could have just put those one-shot stories in it, like the Joker one-shot they did, the Shazam Infected, or whatever. Maybe for the first, 8 issues, they could have done that. And then for the final 4 issues, do this Year the Villain, Hell Arisen. And then you, as a fan, have the whole 12 books. It's all collected. But you understand why they didn't do that, right? Because that would only be one #1 instead of 9 #1s. So, but it's 9 books I'm not buying because of that. And hopefully you don't support that practice either. But buy the books you like. It's your money. And it's important that you're enjoying the hobby. That's the most important thing. Action Comics 1020. Guest starring the Justice League and Young Justice. Oh, jeez. Stay the hell away from Justice League Bendis. I read Justice League because I can get my Superman. I can get all my stuff. It feels like a Bendis-free DC. There's no Bendis. There's no Tom King. You get the heroes you love. There's no G. Willow Wilson. There's no Kelly Sue DeConnick Aquaman like you can see right here. Oh, great. She's having a baby. Oh, she's having a baby. And of course, like all babies that ever happen in comics, it's going to have to be aged up because you can't have an infant. Comics, there used to be a saying that for every 10 years of real life, only 1 year of comics happened. So in order for a child to get from 0 to 5, right, you'd have to go 50 years of comics, but that never happens. It's like it happens usually over like 5 years. Like the babies age in real time while the characters stay the same. It never makes sense. But why do we need I don't know. Because nothing matters at DC. Batman's going to get married. Mira's going to become a single mother. Hawkman will probably become a deadbeat dad. And Batgirl will still be written by Cecil Castellucci. I reviewed the first issue that Cecil did because I was like, oh my God, this is going to be a roast fest. I cannot wait to get this because her Female Furies book is atrocious. Like it is pure feminism on steroids. Like it's just, that's all it was. It was feminism, the book. I mean, it had atrocious things like Darkseid subjecting the women of Apocalypse to doing like a bake-off. Like the Female Furies had to like do a bake-off or something. It was just like so on the nose, retarded. So when she came to Batgirl, I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. I can't. But she didn't do any of their feminism stuff. It was just terrible fan fiction level writing. It was horrible. There was no understanding of like how to write, and it was groan inducing. I was like, oh my gosh, how did this person get a job? I took creative writing classes in high school, and I remember having to like read your peers, and we'd have to like give each other feedback, and it was part of the process of developing your writing skills and things. And I remember like in high school, like kids were doing better. Anyways, I'm not gonna. Batman '88, James Tynion. Yes, go James Tynion. Apparently, Tony Daniel will already be off the book by this time. That's sad. They announced Tony Daniel's coming out of the book starting on issue 86. And then 2 issues later, he's not there. Way to go, DC. Way to go. Hopefully, Gillum March, I don't know how to pronounce that name, is adequate. It is Batman. It's like one of the big titles. Hopefully, DC realizes that they need to put the big dogs on the book like they did with Tom King. But, it's almost like they want books to fail. If it doesn't have their guy, if it's not Bendis or King or whatever, it's, they put the big artists on their guys they want to succeed, and the other guys is like, you can flounder. Yes, we know everyone loves Hawkman, but we're going to give you just crappy artists, so good luck succeeding. Batman Beyond 41. It's not my cup of tea. Props. Jan Durgans, I want him to succeed, like him. But what is my cup of tea? Holy crap. Batman Curse of the White Knight. I am in love with this book. Absolutely in love. And as a testimony, my most hated character at DC, my most hated character in comics is Harley Quinn. I don't know. It's tough. Kate Bishop is right up there. But John Gordon Murphy makes me like Harley Quinn, and he fixed the Harley Quinn problem, which is that DC, the Jimmy Palmiotti made the new modern Harley Quinn, versus the Paul Dini Harley Quinn that actually is the good one that we all like. And now we got the new cosplay Harley Quinn, and she swears a lot, and she's an independent woman, and then Sean Gordon Murphy fixed that, at least in his verse. He made it work, and you understand why it works. I'm not going to spoil it, but I was like, oh, and it happens in the first White Knight book, and I was like, props to you, Sean. That was genius. And I like Harley Quinn now a lot. I like how he makes Harley Quinn and remembers she's actually a psychiatrist, a doctor. She's studied medicine, mental health. She's not just this pea brain that all the other writers make her. I mean, she acts like that, like she's, I'm Harley, because she's crazy. But inside that craziness is an intelligence that a lot of people forget. But Sean didn't, because Sean is a great writer, and he's a brilliant illustrator. Holy crap. His book, Curse of the White Knight, is one of my favorite comics in 20 years. And original White Knight, Curse of the White Knight might be even better. I'm waiting till the final. I cannot promote this book enough. Get Curse of the White Knight. Why are you not getting Curse of the White Knight? Batman's Grave #5. I read issue #1. I wanted to like it, and it bored the crap out of me, and it was terrible. Batman The Outsiders is another book that I really wanted to like. I really love Brian Hill, and I like Batman, and I like the concept of The Outsiders, even though it should have just been called The Outsiders, not Batman The Outsiders, but I realized I have to sell a book. Anyways, this book didn't go anywhere. It seemed like really, really simple, basic stories, that nothing really happened. It's issue 10 now, and it's still Ra's al Ghul and this girl that's part of, like, how many? It's too decompressed, and it's not for me. I had to give up on it. I don't hate the book. I'm not trashing it. It's not a trash book. It's an average comic. It's fine, and if people like the book, I'm like, great. I'm also not a big Dexter Soy fan. I really don't like his art, but some people do, so I'm like, awesome. I just have to be selective. Only so many books can make the cut. My pull list was getting out of control, and I was like, sorry, Batman The Outsiders, you got to go. But I wish Brian all the luck, and I look forward to any new projects, and hopefully this book turns around and becomes amazing. Maybe he's just taking his time to build up to something big. I feel like he's probably distracted by his other works. I think he's more interested in doing Hollywood stuff. And so this is like a side project, and it's showing that there's not much inspiration, in my opinion. Batman Superman 7, Joshua Williamson. Oh, dude, I just read issue number 4. I love this book. It's so good. Batman Superman is great. Joshua Williamson, I keep touting him to people. He is one of the best writers in mainstream comics. He's been writing The Flash consistently for over 80 issues, and it's good. It's really good stuff. But he doesn't get the notoriety. Why? Because it's not Batman. He's writing this great comic, but because it's Flash, no one cares. Meanwhile, Tom King is writing the shittiest Batman run probably ever, but everyone is like talking about it. Why? Because it's Batman. And that's, again, management at DC doing the wrong thing. Josh Williamson should be writing Batman. And to back it up, I got one critical piece of evidence. One of the best Batman stories of Tom King's run is The Button. You want to know who wrote The Button? This guy right here, Josh Williamson. Tom King wrote the first issue. Josh Williamson wrote every other issue. And it's arguably the top Batman story of the current Batman run. There you go. Oh, and by the way, he wrote 80 issues of Flash. Oh, and by the way, he also is writing the brilliant Birthright series over at Image. He's a fantastic writer. Oh, and by the way, he's writing Batman / Superman, and it's brilliant. It's better. All of his books are way better than yes, he should be. I'm fine tying on Batman, and I'm fine keeping Josh on. Anyways, you know what I'm saying. I gotta get past this. I get in the weeds. Catwoman 20. It's not for me. Detective Comics 1020. That is for me. I like Brad Walker. For the most part. Oh yeah, I do like Brad Walker. He did the Arkham Knight. I'm pretty sure he was the artist on the Arkham Knight. I like that. Peter Tomasi's writing a fun Batman book. Detective Comics is where it's at. Look at 32 pages for $3.99. Get it. Like if you're a person that's like, there's no good Batman comics. Batman has been great in Detective Comics for going on 30 issues now. Going back to when Hill took over. Here's Flash. And then there's also Flash Forward, where Scott Lobdell tries to fix Wally. It doesn't make any sense. Why would you destroy the character only to have someone try to fix him? Gotham City Monsters. I like Steve Orlando. I don't care about that. I don't care about Harley Quinn. And I especially don't care about Sam Humphries. Oh, God. Then there's Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy. It's Jodie Hauser. Oh, they're little two psycho bitches and their little lesbian love fest who are villains. Why is this a book? How does this even exist? I just don't understand. Why do people want to read this stuff? I love murderers. So exciting, especially when they're homosexual and they're women, because women are empowered. We don't need no men. Hawkman 21. I need to do my review. By the way, the Sky Tyrant story is not the bad thing that everyone's like, all Hawkman fans are like, oh, screw Hawkman, I can't believe they're doing this, or people are pissed off. As credit to Robert Venditti, he made this interesting. I'm looking forward to this. He took it and made it an interesting direction. He played the Sky Tyrant into Hawkman's multiple. If you read the original series of Hawkman, or the original 12 issues of this run, where it explains Hawkman's multiple lives and all the stuff, Sky Tyrant plays into that, and you're like, yes, it's so awesome. I don't want to spoil anything, but I will give you like a hint towards it. Remember that what Venditti introduced is that Hawkman doesn't just reincarnate over time. He reincarnates over space and time. You gotta keep that in mind. It's not just, oh, he's dead, now he's a new guy, he's here. Over space and time. So it blew my mind. I was like, oh, wow. So I hope he's got something big going on to this. I like the Sky Tyrant. And it's not what you think. It's not Hawkman being a villain and a bad guy. It's Venditti is trusted Venditti. Let's see. He-Man and the Masters of the Multiverse. Tim Seeley doing He-Man. Oh, God. It's like, I hate when they put these like beta male guys on these like masculine tough guy characters. Like, it's just like Tim Seeley. It's Inferior 5. I heard good things about Inferior 5. And Jeff Lemire is knocking it out of the park. His Ascender series is becoming one of my favorite things in comics of all time. I'll talk about it in another place. But so, yeah, I've heard people say, oh, yeah, Inferior 5 is good. But it's just one of those things that's getting lost in the there's too many comics. It's lost in the flood. Comics industry needs to pare down quality over quantity. So Joker, Harley Criminal Sanity, written by Cami Garcia. Apparently this book's already dead in the water, and there's like 9 more issues to go. That's $6 an issue. Nope. But I hope it's good. DC needs to learn, and the only way they learn is the bottom line. I hope this. I don't hope that some of the creators trying to do their best, but just stop making shit books. We don't need 50 freaking Joker Harley books. Pick one really great one, make it great, sell hundreds of thousands of copies, and we can all remember it. Don't make a bunch of milquetoast versions. Speaking of milquetoast, Joker Killer Smile. I've heard a lot of people, I haven't read this, even though I like Jeff Lemire. I don't care about a Joker solo story. I think Joker's overused. I don't think he should just have his own stories. And I've heard people just being like, it's okay. It's whatever. Justice League Dark. Written by Ram the Fifth and James Tynion the Fourth. I know I keep saying Tynion this time. I don't know. If I mess up, if you're like, what? Anyways. Justice League Dark. All the Justice League books are good. This is what you should be reading. This is the core of DC. If I was in charge of DC, I'd be building my brand around these 3 books. These 3 books should be the new trinity of DC. You get all the major characters. You get a cosmic book. You get a magic book. And you get a traditional Justice League book. And it's beautiful. And they can cross over because they're all Justice League. If you need to do that, Robert Venditti is taking over Justice League here. So I'm sad that Snyder is not on Justice League anymore. But if you were going to replace him with anyone, Robert Venditti is the man. So I'm excited to keep following it. Dan Abnett's on Justice League Odyssey. Who better to write a cosmic Justice League book? And who worse to write Legion of Superheroes? Brian Michael Bendis. Oh my God, that first issue. It's just cringe-inducing. There's nothing that happens. It's just nothing but a bunch of smug, self-absorbed narcissists. Just all, look at us. Actually, it's not as smug as Hickman's New Mutants. That was just painful. It's almost like Legion of Superheroes. They try to just make it like this innocence. Like they're all naive. They're just like, oh, look, everything's wonderful. We're just a bunch of idiots and we don't know the real world. We just came out of the pod today and everything's great. Oh, look, Superboy, you've all inspired us. And let's just all talk funny for 30 pages. And in the end, Lois Lane. Oh, this is Greg Rucka having Trump derangement syndrome spill all over the book. If you like that sort of thing. Oh, the final issue of Martian Manhunter, the book, one of the most criminally overlooked books out there. Steve Orlando is penning, or not, yeah, he's penning a wonderful origin story of Martian Manhunter. And you might say, well, I already know the origin story of Manhunter. But yes, but you don't know all these details. And he's fleshing out so many things that make me care about the character so much more. I never did before. Speaking of not caring, Dan Didio, however you pronounce it, is doing Metalman. Why? Well, because it's Didio. Screw other stuff. That's my projects. Nightwing 69. Dan Jurgens continues to try to salvage this. Good for him. I wish you all the luck. I am not one of those people that hates the shot to the head. I think it's why I started buying Nightwing. But what I do hate is restricting writers to being able to do something good. It's like just having these mandates of he's going to be shot in the head and he's going to stop being Nightwing. Now write the book. And you can't turn him back into Dick Grayson. He's now Rick Grayson, and he can't be Nightwing. So write a story around that. And you're just like, what? I'm not against. I like the Nightwings. I really do. I think there's potential there, and I think there's potential for growth. I'd like to see Dick Grayson grow beyond just being Nightwing, whether it's becoming the new Talon, and then maybe turning the Court of Owls into something new. I don't know. Like, you know, Dick Grayson leading the Nightwings, I think would make an interesting book. It worked really well for Red Hood and the Outlaws, like having not just Red Hood, having the Outlaws. Then they took the Outlaws away, and you're like, oh. So I eventually stopped getting this book. It sounds like maybe the Outlaws are coming back. If you're reading Red Hood and the Outlaws, tell me, is this book getting better? I just didn't like solo Red Hood. I think the Outlaws was beautiful. Don't care about RGB Ruby or whatever it's called. Shazam. There's just Jeff Johns is silently doing his little pet project, Shazam, that no one cares about because no one really cares about Shazam. But it's Jeff Johns. And I have nothing bad to say. Suicide Squad, Tom Taylor. Yeah. Sign me out. Supergirl 39 by Jody Hauser. Don't care. Superman 20, Brian Michael Bendis. It's this whole Superman side is going to be just infected by Bendis and his cronies. Then we got this Superman Smashes the Klan #3. Oh, look, they dropped the price down to $7.99. No, it's not $10 anymore. I wonder why that is. Maybe it's because it doesn't sell. This is like the biggest joke of a book. It's so racist. I hate this in progressive culture when they do products that insinuate I'm the racist when they're the ones being the racist in their products. Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, Matt Fraction, first of all. Just look at this cover. If this is what you want in your comics, more power to you. This makes me throw up a little in my mouth. Teen Titans 39. I don't know, it's Teen Titans. Teen Titans has its fans. Terrifics 25. This is a book I never got into, to my dismay. Apparently Jeff Lemire started it off fantastic. I hope it keeps going. I wish all the New Age of Heroes would go. They were good books. They had great ideas, but instead they murdered them so they could bring in Bendis ideas. Imagine having the Immortal Men and Sideways and Damage and Super Sons. I know it's not New Age of Heroes, but you know, I'm talking about these things all got killed so that we could instead get Wonder Twins and Young Justice and Dial H for Hero and the new Legion of crap. We're getting, and the new Metal Men. The New Age of Heroes, every single book was at least decent. I think a few of them could go by the wayside. I don't think people were that big on Brimstone. I could see a few of them not making the cut. But at least 6 of them. Oh, Silencer. You could have Silencer. Rest in peace, New Age of Heroes. Titans Burning Rage. There's those reprints. Wonder Woman 85. Steve Orlando's back on Wonder Woman. Hopefully he's doing a good job. Wonder Woman Dead Earth. We got enough Wonder Woman books now? Like, are we going to do Wonder Woman Overload? This is a cool... It's a cool variant cover. I like the glowing lasso. Just the contrast there. It looks cool. Conversely, I hate this cover. I don't know what this is, but I hate it. Far Sector. Oh, jeez. Here's the new Green Lantern, everyone. 5G. She's just a woman who's given a ring. And she's, of course, power to femininity. Antihero trade paperback. $10 for... I'm sure this is terrible. I read the Super Sons trade paperback, and it's blatantly, like, it is blatantly obvious that these books are propaganda material. They're grooming material to shape how kids think. I mean, Super Sons, it's about, the sons of Batman and Superman, right? No. It's actually about these two girls. It's called Super Sons. But it wasn't. It's so abysmal. And you can see all of these DC Kids books, all of them. Even Super Sons is about little girl characters. Because little women shape the future. Men are just there to be tolerated as long as they keep their mouth shut. And don't look at a woman cross-eyed. Don't say a word that might offend them or come across misogynist, because while they're not delicate little snowflakes, they're not delicate little snowflakes. They will melt at the slightest warmth. So if you treat them like a man, they won't be able to handle it. But it's not because they're inferior. And in truth, I'm not suggesting women are inferior, but they are different. And you can't, anyways, I'm sure I'm pissing people off right now talking about my politics. And it's not really politics, actually. That's not politics. That's social ideology. Here's the Joe Hill's big book, Basket Full of Heads. They are just pumping out the horror books. Joe Hill is like, let's just, more Joe Hill. It's nonstop. Who could have more books? Neil Gaiman, Sandman Universe, or Joe Hill's? So many. I just don't care. Here's a book I did a review on issue number 1, Last God. Issue number 1 was really good. If you like fantasy, like sword and sorcery type fantasy, dark fantasy, this is a pretty good story so far. It's just hidden in the Black Label. Should have been a Vertigo book, but they canceled that. I'm not going to get into that. Lucifer, Dial H. Oh, God. Look, Dial H and Wonder Twins are finally coming to an end. That's the good news. I'm surprised that these things their sales have got to be abysmal. But the bad news is now Sam Humphries and Mark Russell will be open for other projects. So hopefully they won't be put on books that we like. Because I was more than happy, like, good. You guys go do those books over there and don't touch the things that I like. Young Justice number 13. Just terrible. Dollar. Is there any interesting Dollar comics? Oh, look, hey, they're doing Green Lantern Rebirth number 1. That's pretty cool. Oh, look, they're doing the Amethyst one, which is going to be not like the Amethyst. In that article, by the way, I had read earlier before I did this video, that she also says, the girl that's doing the new Amethyst book, that she's modernizing. She's not going to keep Amethyst. She's a big fan of the old Amethyst, but it's going to be changed to be something new. It's like, well, wait a second. You're a big fan of the old stuff, but you're not going to stay the old stuff. You're going to redo it. Like, come on. It's just so dumb. Let's see. So here's all the trades. Of course, they're doing an Alfred Pennyworth trade paperback, which is a collection of books that had Alfred in it to celebrate the murdering that DC did of him. They're going to it's essentially, there's a book that DC's rubbing in your face, and they're going to charge you $20 to rub in your face. Remember that character you loved? Pay us $20 to be reminded how we killed him. You sucker. Don't be a sucker, please. Batman Creature of the Night hardcover. The final issue just came out. It was like on this massive hiatus. People were like talking to me on Discord and stuff like months ago, like, what happened to that book? And I was like, I don't know. I wasn't following it. And I just saw it at the store the other day. I was like, oh, here's that book. Batman City of Crime Deluxe Edition. I don't know some of these books. Batman Universe hardcover. So you could have saved yourself money instead of buying the 6 issues of the reprint for $5 a piece. You could have bought the hardcover for $25. Save yourself $5, get a nice hardcover edition, and then punch yourself in the balls because it's Brian Michael Bendis and nothing matters and it's terrible. So I just saw that he made Batman a White Lantern in the book. It was like, what are you even doing? He's a White Lantern, but he recites the Green Lantern oath, and you're just like, of course, Bendis. Event Leviathan hardcover. If you really want to waste money, here's $30 on the biggest nothing. It's such nothing. Robin Year One. It's a great trade paperback. I'm not sure about this new cover, but you can get a Robin / Batgirl Year One that I would recommend over this. It's combined. And you can see here, look, it's offered up again. If you get that, you get it combined, and they're both by Chuck Dixon. And I've heard I only have this one, so I haven't read the Batgirl, but I've been hearing that you got to read the Batgirl, and I'm like, well, I'm not gonna buy it again. So here's more stuff. Just keep buying. Oh, and then if you really have money to blow, you can buy the statuettes. Here's where the big money fans spend their money. $100 for Batman. Oh, I like this cartoony one right here. Super armored Batman. $40 though. Looks cool. I can admire it from afar. Plus, I just don't really. I don't collect figures and things. Look, so this is a checklist, which is much smaller than Marvel's. Here's the back cover of the DC previews. This is much more interesting. You'd think that they would put Deceased on the cover because that's the popular thing that everyone wants is Deceased. No. So there you have it. DC previews. I went really long on this one because I just wanted to jibber jab with you. I appreciate if you made it this far and you listen to me jibber jabbering. Too bad it's only a one-way conversation. I can't hear you back, but I do have a Discord channel. You're welcome to come by. It has a voice chat option, so sometimes we can do talking on there. Also, you can follow me on Twitter. It's Ash1138. I get a little bit more contentious on Twitter, my political views and stuff on there. So if you don't like me talking like that here, you may not like it. But if you're okay with it, just because my Twitter is more me, this video on my YouTube channel, I try to really keep it focused to comics. Sometimes my politics or my social ideology comes into play, but only what it's related to the comics. I'm not going to sit here and preach to you about who to vote for or things like that, because that's not why you come here. You come here for comics and for discussion, and sometimes, they bleed across a little bit. And so I apologize if any of that is bothersome. You're always welcome to give me your feedback on it. I don't want to insult anyone. That's not my goal. I don't have any ill will feelings if you have different opinions to me or anything like that. These are just my opinions. This is me. I'm a schmo. I love comics. There are certain things I love about comics, and there are certain reasons why I like certain comics and certain reasons why I don't like other comics. And so part of that involves explaining to you. I can't just say this is trash and then move on because I'm afraid to tell you about, the social ideology that bothers me. If it's, and then if I don't say it's trash, and if I only talk about the things I like, and I just become a shill, site or a video. And it's just, I think we're all adults, right? My channel's checkmark not for kids. We're all adults. We should be able to have rational conversations and have opinions, and no one walks away crying. So I get it though. If you have different opinions, that's perfectly okay. Hopefully you got something out of the video. Hopefully I was able to eat an hour of your time while you're at work or doing chores or doing a long drive or whatever. Maybe you're just sitting on the couch playing some Xbox or, and just listening. That's kind of what I do sometimes. I've been playing a crap ton of Destiny 2 on Xbox, and I'll throw up videos and just kind of listen to them in the background as I'm playing. So thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, hit the thumbs down if you hate me, I guess. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time.